God bless you.
There you go.
You're welcome.
I am so excited to bring you some new information in reference to the Acquisition Summit. First, let's discuss the Acquisition Summit itself. What is it, right? So I'm sure you've been seeing the post about the Acquisition Summit. That's April 3rd to the 5th. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. And we're going to be underwriting, and we're going to be doing property tours, and we're going to be submitting LOIs, right? So the whole objective of this here, one is it's an educational platform, and we're here to train you. We're here to take you from A to Z, right? From A to Z on acquiring an asset and dispositioning that asset. So that's from A to Z, and everything that comes in the middle, okay? But there's two parts to this. The two parts are the bus tour, underwriting, submitting LOI. So that's the first part. The second part comes when the LOI is accepted and we get this property under contract. Now the heavy phase of the coaching program really kicks in, because now we're going to start raising capital. We're going to be doing due diligence. Then we're going to close. And during the time that we're holding this asset, you're being coached through everything that needs to be done. Communications with the LPs and other things. But we're introducing something new. That, what I explained, was tier 1. Now we got tier 2. And tier 2 is designed so that you may not want tier 1. You may want to just come for the underwriting. You may just want to come for the bus tour. You may want to come for learning about the LOIs and the submission and all of that goes in place with that. So we have created tier 2. Why? Our mission, the Acquisition Summit mission, is to educate 1,000 new investors or 1,000 people about commercial real estate before the end of the year. And this is going to be taking place in several kind of ways. By us creating tier 2, we're opening it up to where if you don't want to take part in tier 1, then come to take part in tier 2, where you could get the knowledge and the experience of underwriting, get the knowledge and experience of what to look for during the bus tour, and we're touring these properties, to get the knowledge and experience of submitting LOI. So if that's what you want, come on. Click the link that is being provided for you, or type the link, or whatever you got to do. Get the link, click it, tick it, to whatever you got to do. But come April 3rd to the 5th, Phoenix, Arizona. You're not going to regret it. You're not going to regret it. And the cost, which for tier 1 is $74.97, and $5,000 of that $74.97 goes into the deal. For tier 2, it's just $24.97. That's strictly for the education, strictly for the 3 days of the underwriting bus tour and the submission of the LOIs, getting all that training and the materials that's going to go with it. Okay, so are you going to take advantage of it? Who do you know that could benefit from this coaching program? Share this. Let everyone know. Come to Phoenix, April 3rd to the 5th, and take advantage of the program. Thank you.
So thank you all for attending our GOB Network Arizona Mastermind. I am Alicia Milton, And we have our team members, William Stevens and Gregory McKinley here. What you just saw was Daryl Murphy, who has blessed us with his presence this evening, introducing us to our acquisition summit, which is in just, I think it's about 14 short days now. So if you haven't already registered, make sure you register. We do have some attendees that are attending right on this call. So we look forward to seeing you all here. If you have any questions, we can take them at the end of the call because we do have some speakers here. If you didn't already know what our mission is, we are members of GOB Network. And as you can see from our name, we are the Arizona chapter. And what our overall parent entity seeks to do is democratize commercial real estate via mentoring and deal making by providing the resources to close investment properties and improve returns. And basically, we are gap fillers, right? So you learn about real estate, but you don't necessarily have the tools all the time, the resources all the time, or the wherewithal to either start or finish. And so that's what GOB Network, we are an educational platform to help you get that deal across the finish line. And our Arizona chapter, we're here to connect our local investors to mastermind, to plan, to secure, to invest, and close our assets within our state. And so the purpose of the mastermind is to get rid of the competitive mindset, to also have a mastermind mindset, which is a collaborative mindset. So thank you so much for being here. This is Jim Biggs. He has a huge bio. And if you didn't already know Jim, you can connect with him on our GOB page, our GOB Network Arizona page, and also to become a member of the GOB. Jim's the founding member, and he's an awesome guy. His vision extends just beyond limits. So he was the one that helped us christen our mastermind last year. He was here to do the first one with us. So if you want to learn more about Jim, just reach out to us. You can send us an email at arizona@gobnetwork.com. I am Alicia Milton. I'm a licensed real estate agent here. I do commercial real estate. That's my focus. And I also help investors secure commercial real estate properties. And I'm also an investor myself. I'm excited to say that we closed on our 24 apartment unit and 42 self-storage units last year in Dayton, Texas. So super excited about that. And we have a goal of securing 2,000 units this year. And while doing so, our passion is to help 1,000 people, as you heard Daryl say in the video that we just played. And then I will hand it off to Gregory McKinley.
Thanks, Alicia. Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming to the call tonight. Yeah, like Alicia said, my name is Greg McKinley, and I'm also an investor. I also am on that Dayton deal that Alicia just mentioned, the one in Dayton, Texas. So I'm invested in that deal. I've helped raise capital on a 26 unit in Tempe, and I'm also currently raising capital on 2,000 storage units in Texas with another team. But yeah, that's pretty much my experience with real estate. I mean, I have some other experience wholesaling, mortgage note investing, and just some basic like single family home investing as well. But yeah, I'm here to learn and grow with everyone, and just so we can take deals down and grow together, build assets and some legacy for ourselves and family, and to help other people do the same thing. And that's just a bit about me.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg. William.
Yeah, I'm William Stevens, also an investor in the Phoenix area. A husband and a father. I'm actually investing in multifamily residential right now in the Phoenix area, and also single family homes. So I got a few portfolios. I got some experience in multifamily and single family properties also. I'm part of the GOB network and learning and growing. If you guys have any question or any information that you wanted from the GOB network, I'm the right person to reach out to. So I'll connect with you guys if you guys wanted to.
Awesome. Thank you, William. Can you see the GOB Network screen? Awesome. So this is the GOB Network. This is our overall parent company website. To become a member, if you're not already a member, when you visit this page, tap on register. And when the registration page comes up, you can create your own username. You can utilize your email address, which is probably something that you won't forget what it is. A thank you message pops up thanking you for joining us. And you'll fill in your first name, your last name, your mobile number, and then the sponsor by email address and the sponsor name. Those are very important to enter because for GOB, which is Get On Board, we're a network referral base. We like to make sure that the people that are within our network are go-givers, ones that want to partner together to help improve communities. And so we want to make sure that we are recruiting like-minded people. So you want to make sure you list your sponsor's name, and they will also be your resource. So if you need any help or need to find some information within our network, that'll be your main person that you connect with. And then make sure you do a password, because if you submit it using that one, that's your password that you'll have to memorize. So you want to make sure that you put one in there that's strong that you'll remember. And then you do complete setup. And setup should take no more than about 24 hours. You'll also receive an email as well telling you thank you, and also informing you of all of the services that the GOB network offers. And as I mentioned earlier before our call, this is our GOB Network Arizona Facebook page. I will drop this in the chat. Please connect with us on our Facebook page. This is where you can get some notifications about different events that are happening here in Arizona that we're connected to. Greg has a mastermind that he has on different Saturdays, so he'll post the information there as well. And William would also post information from time to time, just updating you on what's happening in our neck of the woods. So I wanted to say thank you so much to our speakers. William, did you want to introduce our speakers before they get started?
Yes, we can. Yes, our speakers are Roberto Sebastian and Jennifer Sebastian. And I know Jennifer and Robert, and I can't even remember. It's quite a while, a couple of years, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, and you know, Jennifer invited me to her meetup, and I went. The food was good, so I keep going back. Even though she changed that, but they're a pretty good speaker, and I hope you guys gonna really appreciate them speaking tonight.
Awesome.
So welcome Jennifer and Robert tonight.
Okay, thank you very much, William, for giving this opportunity for me and Jennifer to speak here. Alicia, Greg, thanks a lot for letting us come here to the meetup. And I heard about Mr. Darrell also. So great meeting you also, sir. Jennifer, want to speak?
Yes, it's our first time getting out from our meetup and speaking right here. So we're kind of excited and honored that you invite us to this event.
Thank you so much for coming. I do want to take one quick moment to introduce Betty Franklin. She's also a member of our team. She helps with our marketing, does beautiful flyers, and she's also one of our sponsors for the Acquisition Summit. So Betty, if you can take a moment, unmute yourself and share a little bit about you and your business.
Well, good evening, everyone. And as Alicia said, my name is Betty Franklin, and I am, just beyond awe that I get an opportunity to be a part of, the GOB Network, as well as working with Alicia and Daryl on the upcoming Acquisition Summit. And like Alicia says, I do digital marketing, graphic designing, backgrounds if you need it for your your presentations that you're doing on Zoom, or your flyer presentations that you're putting up to present to your potential investors or whoever you may be talking to. I do that. That's what I do. Plus I do social media coaching. So if that's an area that you because you're so focused on your business, you don't have time for that other side, you can reach out. I'll put my contact information in the chat. And thank you, Alicia.
You're welcome. And Daryl, did you want to speak as well? Daryl's my partner in crime.
Well, I just want to
here.
say, I don't have a background like yours.
I know.
Wait a minute.
I get you one.
She cheated.
Sorry.
Yes, she did.
She cheated on me.
I just want to say thank you very much for just having me here. And I want to say I was trying to curb and get off mute so I could say hello to Roberto and Jennifer. I was fumbling around with the control, but thank you very much, and welcome, Jennifer and Roberto.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad to be here.
Wonderful. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, Jennifer and Roberto, please take it over. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Okay, Jennifer. So let's start.
Yes, thank you everyone for coming on this event, and thank you, William, for inviting us to be here. And our topic for today is collaborating for success and finding the right general partner in apartment investing.
Next slide. Okay.
So for those people who doesn't know me, Jennifer, and
I'm Roberto or Robert Sebastian. So we have a company called R&J Sebastian Multifamily, which is a real estate investment firm, which provide assistance to busy professionals who has no time to do their retirement, or because they're so busy. And we're here to provide them more comfort in terms of the times of uncertainty with the economic downturns. So we help them to generate distributions, passive wealth, so they can help financial freedom. Next slide. Okay. So again, I'm Robert Sebastian. So I was born and raised in Manila. It's called Tondo, Manila, which is one of the poorest part of Manila. And I was raised in a low middle class family, and we live about 3 to 5 miles on this place. It's called Smoky Mountain. It's a landfill community where people support themselves by picking up and selling trash. They call Smoky Mountain because it spews a lot of methane gas and carbon dioxide from the place. But this is how they survive, and this is how they support themselves. And through my family's support, they're able to survive in this kind of environment also. And we're fortunate enough to have a business called ice block delivery business, like this big blocks of ice. When we usually deliver it with the ice tongue, sometimes we have to deliver it with our own bare hands. Start at early in the morning, then bring it to our customers. So it was a lot of hard work. Then eventually, me and my family went back to, we migrated to the United States. Next slide.
so for me, I was born and raised in the Philippines, and my parents are in military. And you know how in military, if they say tell you something, you just go. If they tell you to jump, they say how high. You just don't complain. You just follow. So When I was a kid, 13 years old, that was very young. My parents was very high achiever and they decided to attend in United States for a training. So my mom was so excited to come with my father from United States. So we end up in the Philippines inside the base with some relatives with us. And guess what? If parents not around, they're gone as well. So we end up staying at home. Well, we can always call them if we need them, but make it the story short. I'm the one who's take care of the big responsibility, taking care of my sibling and taking care of our apartment, duplex, fourplex. We got one in one region, another region is about 7plex. And oh my gosh, and land property, it was a hard work. I was only 13. Hello, other people, 13 years old, they're having fun. They don't care about life, but not me. I'm like, I have to be an adult right away because it's a big responsibility. Of course, I can complain, but I choose not to because my parents is in the United States. So I don't want them to give any burden. I'm the one who's screening the tenant. Oh my gosh, screening the tenant at 13 years old. Oh, was terrifying. It's even terrifying now too. So it was very hard for me. And then if there's some construction, I have to do some numbers and call who can I call to help me to do that construction. And then if there's a maintenance that I need to do, it was a hard job. Then when I turned 18, my parents said, you know what, why don't you come in United States with your siblings? And I'm like, yes, finally. I thought I was free. I come to United States when I'm 18. We still have property in the Philippines, but my dad said, you know what, since I'm already retired in military, why don't we change our business? Let's get into assisted living. I'm like, okay. And we're so used of networking at the young age. So assisted living, it will become natural for us. We connect with a VA and the VA like us so much, they keep sending us client. The challenge with assisted living is finding an employee. Finding an employee is hard. And once you train them, guess what? They're ready to look for a better job, bigger corporation, or open up their own residential, another group home or assisted living. So it's always a challenge. It's like 24/7, no light, where you can just go around the area. So when I met Robert, I decided to be a stay-home mom because I worked so hard on that one. So Robert?
Yeah, next slide.
For financial journey. So when I met Robert, but that's back in 1996, and he's jobless. He's jobless, but since we constantly talking, and I started to fall in love with him, we end up getting married by the following year, 1997, and I work during the morning, 7:00. I go to community college. Then during noontime, I take care of our group home, do the cleaning of, we're Filipino, so we're doing all the work and trying to save some money so that we can expand our business. That's why we got at least 6 group home in Las Vegas. So we got 6 group home. And then at nighttime, I starting 7, I work in a casino. I'm a blackjack dealer. So that's how my day goes. I'm always on the go, always on the go. So by the time that I married Robert, I'm like, yeah, okay, if you didn't get successful being a doctor, we get plan B. We can open up a group home and open up our own, and we can expand. That's our goal. But I decided my dad is a breadwinner in the family. Maybe I should stop doing my work and I need to support my husband. And that's why I decided, since he cannot find a job in Las Vegas during that time, we decided to go to East Coast. He worked so hard. We live in Virginia. He volunteered during 6 to 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, he get up because we live in Virginia. He volunteer in Maryland from 6 to 5 o'clock. And then he will go to Kaiser Permanente from 6 to midnight. And he did that for 1 whole year. It was hard work, but never give up. And guess what? If you do all the hard work, you get succeeded. The following year, he gets successful and get accepted because of that volunteer work. And that's our journey. Robert, go for the next one.
So during this past 15 years, I've been in practice. I'm a psychiatrist, but then we felt that we've been doing great. But then during along the journey, we realized that we've been losing a lot of time with our family, with our community, which we love to do. And also we start to realize, this by working like the usual rat race, it's gonna take you for some time before you finally actually retire. So we have to find a better way. And we did a lot of research. We talk about doing single family, but given that Jennifer got experience with single family, she said that's not a good idea for our personal goals. So we checked we did some research, and we end up being in a mentoring program since 2019. So since 2019, we got an amazing journey. And as of this time, we have more than about 3,580 doors invested, both as a capacity as GP, LP, and KPs, and on multiple states. And since 2021, we got a total about 4 co-general partnership, which is mainly in Dallas and Houston, totaling about $92 million asset under management. So given that we made that big decision, we never went back. Going back to the old traditional ways of going to 401k or stock market, we are all 100% all in with real estate, mainly multifamily. Okay, next slide. So why do we invest in multifamily? Why it makes sense? First things first, we love it because there's an increased demand and there's limited supply of housing. As we know, the last time that we checked, there's 4 million housing units short across the country. And that's going to take about 10 years before they can finally cover the demand. So given that it's going to take some time, there'll always be a big demand. With higher demand, there'll be higher housing prices, and there'll be less affordability. And most people, still need housing. Then they ended up making more sense for them to rent. And that's where the opportunity comes in. We love multifamily compared with single family because we have better control of the property value compared with single family homes, wherein even though you do some renovation, but it doesn't increase in value if the surrounding neighborhood has a low value. So, however, compared with multifamily housing with renovation, increasing the rent, adding more income, like adding washers and dryers, doing adding covered parking space, it can significantly increase the income, thereby increases the property value. Also, especially right now with the inflation being sky high, I believe the last time we checked is about over 6% inflation. So by putting your money in the bank itself right now, you're already losing value by 6% per year. If you stock it in the bank. However, we see that in multifamily properties, they tended to outpace inflation. That's why you'll be more ahead if you put it in this kind of asset class. Also, there's also big benefits of tax benefits when they put emphasis on bonus depreciation. If, for example, you already meet certain criteria to meet those benefits. So that one you need to discuss with your CPAs. And lastly, the one that we love is the economy of scale. Compared with single family homes, when if you have one single family with one tenant, that's 100% occupancy. But if that tenant leaves, it's 0 occupied. So you have no income. Compared, let's say, with a 100-unit apartment, if one tenant left, then they still have 99% occupancy. So we still have enough of that. And next slide. So given that we want to focus on multifamily investing, we try to focus more on syndication. The one thing we love about syndication is that we collaborate with a group of people when we pull our money in order to put in an asset. Also, by putting this money, also you have less risk with your investment, with your overall rate, and you have a higher return as well. Next slide. It doesn't work. So with syndication, there's two parts of partners, right? So there's the general partner and the limited partner. So the general partner, they're the one who's doing all the work, the entire process from start to finish. They do the looking for deals, doing analyzing, doing underwriting. They do all the paperwork for the transaction. And later on, they do all the capital raise as well. Now, once you acquired, once the property's been acquired, then you have to do the managing of the property, the managers, and also have to look at the financial performance of the property and make sure that the business plan has been executed properly, thereby increasing the profit of the asset, which is more beneficial for the investor. Now, compared with limited partners, their main function is to provide equity for the deal, and in the return they'll receive income from the cash flow. The good thing about being limited partners, they don't have to do anything. It's completely passive, and the only thing is that they don't have any say, any decision making capacity about how to operate the property. That's the sole responsibility of the general partners. Next slide. So in this presentation, we are focused on how to find a general partner, because this is what you want to do. So these are the things that we need to look at right now. Next slide. So factors that we need to do is there's multifactorial. One is the experience. In terms of experience, what's the potential general partner's track record? We need to know that. Do they have how many years are there in the industry? How many properties to have in full cycles? Have they have any experience during a downturn? For example, during COVID, have they experienced that? How they able to turn around the property? And this, for example, right now with the increasing interest rate, what are they doing right now in trying to address that? In terms of compatibility, do you have the same passion, the same investment goals as your potential partner? Do you tended to focus on let's say value add, or are you going to focus on core assets instead? What's your timeline? Is it like a 3 to 5 years, 7 to 10 year horizon in terms of holding the property? So those are the things you need to look for a partner. There should be complementary skills also. If you're very good in terms of underwriting, you need a partner that's maybe good, let's say, in capital raising. You need a partner who might be good in terms of doing financial management, so that the property will operate in a very efficient way. Also, you might need an asset manager who will manage the property managers. So those are the things you need to find out. Also, in terms of financial stability, what do you need to look at? You need to know if your potential partner has the liquidity to let the deal go through the finish line. While during the operation, do they have enough liquidity also? For example, if they start to have some challenges with the finances. So those are the things needs to be considered as well. How clear is their communication style? We need to know that. How frequent do they communicate with their partners? Do they communicate every day? Do they communicate like any time of the days? Those are the things we need to know, because that's going to make you feel comfortable also to work with your potential partner. Also, there should be alignment of interests, the alignment of your values, And this is important. Remember, having a partner is a long-term commitment. So doing this process, you are dating, you are courting a potential partner, because eventually you're going to be on a 3 to 10 years, at least 3 to 10 year marriage in a partnership. So you have to seriously have to consider all your options, and also the reputation. Is your potential general partner has a good reputation within the industry? And this one we need to find out through further research. Next slide, Jennifer.
So finding a general partner, you can find it from networking. How many of you attend the Grand Cardone event last weekend? Oh my gosh, you're missing a lot. That's about 1,000 people, probably 1,000 or 2,000 people. That's a lot. And you can contact a lot of good network right there. Networking, possible partnership, also referral. But thing is, you go on those kind of event. I went there, there's a lot of people, and automatic, they know if the moment you talk to them, they know if you have an experience. One of the partners asked me, I don't know that person, and is trying to connect with me, and he said, can you be a KP? I'm like, no, I'm not interested of being a KP. You go, but I'm interested in being a general partner. He said, she said but there's 1,000 unit in Dallas and another one in 900 unit in Georgia. And the first question I asked, what is the income in 1 mile ratio? That's very important. If I'm partnering with a person, I want it to be knowledgeable. I want them to be well experienced. I want them that it will meet my criteria. I want it. Those are the things that I will ask. And not only that I will talk to them, I want to meet them in person again and again, couple of times. Make sure we are in the same page. Those are the criteria of finding a good partner. Remember, it's kind of like marriage. If you end up not liking each other, that business will not produce well. So finding a general partner for 3 to 5 years is very important. Make sure you're on the same page.
What need to be asked? So like what we mentioned a while ago, we need to ask about their experiences, and we need to do more research about what's their prior projects. Ask for referrals. Find other people who invested with this potential general partner. Ask the limited partners as well in terms of their experiences with the general partner. Do some research also by Google. You can also try to research through social media about their LinkedIn page, or their or let's say in bigger pockets also, or even in Facebook. And also it would be something to consider also, even try to look for their credit history also, especially if there's any, let's say, history of any bankruptcy or foreclosure. That can, some partners may consider very important also. So that's something you need to research on. If you are going to focus on a specific location, for example, if I want to invest, potentially look for a partner, let's say in Houston, I need a general partner who also lives nearby Houston, because I want somebody who's be the boots on the ground. Because if I have no general partners who let's say lives in Houston, I'm not going to partner with them, because we need somebody who's very accessible and check on the property and have close coordination with the vendors and the asset and the property management company. Next. Also get to know about your partner's team. You need to know also their CPA firm. Are they how long they've been in this kind of industry? Do they have enough experience handling syndication deals? Look, who are the legal team? Do they have a very reputable syndication lawyers? Do they have a construction team also? Okay, so So that would be very important also, especially if you have a lot of, you have to consider also about whenever you're doing make-ready units, how fast can they help us with the renovation also. Now, whenever you might have a very good property, you might have a very good general partner, okay? You have a good horse, a good jockey, but if you don't have a good property management team, the deal might go down as well. So you must really have to do a lot of vetting, research, what's the performance of the property management team in other properties also. Do a lot of, do some referrals and ask a lot of questions about that also. And also you must have, and you have to ask also how often do they do meetings with their property management team. Like what we discussed a while ago, we discussed about what's our investment goals. Was it more like value add or more like core plus, more like holding it for a long time? Was it going to be like 3 to 5 year hold, or it's going to be like a 10-year hold? So for someone in our case, we're still focusing more on 3 to 5 year holds, and we're focusing on value add and property like BB plus properties. So the general partner should be that you're looking for must have the same goals as well. Next slide. It is very important also that the general partner should have skin in the game. They should always have the money. They have more capital to put into the project. If they don't have any money in the project, then I have to be very careful about that also, because it only their partner has money in the project. It means they're totally invested with it, and they will also try to take care of that. There's a higher likelihood they'll be going to take care of the project. And also we have to consider also if they're going to personally secure the bank loan for the syndication. Sometimes we have to look for potentially some unavoidable situation. For example, if one of my limited invest partners asked me, what happened if one of you just died? Which is quite morbid, but it's a reality. So will the property still gonna exist? Will this going to go down? No. So we have to give them assurance about that everything has been well placed. That even though one of the partners died or probably got into a lawsuit, the property will still remain intact. Especially right now with the increasing floating rates, and we've been hearing a lot of things about this right now. A lot of stories about they have to pay a lot of money because of the increasing cap rates, and also there's a specter about capital calls. Do the general partner have enough capital to cover for the unexpected expenses? Are they going to chip in, cash in order to make the deal afloat, and not taking the limited partners, the limited investors, to get into a capital call? Those are very serious topics that needs to be discussed with the general partners, the potential general partners. Next slide. Also, we have to discuss about the fees also. And the standard for acquisitions, we about 1 to 3%. For standard for asset management fees, about 1 to 3% of the monthly revenue. And should be about the split also. Usually for general partners, about 20 to 40%, right? But within the split among general partners, we have to make it very transparent about how is it going to be split in terms of the profit. We sometimes, especially with a lot of potential new general partners, they never ask those kind of important questions to their potential partners. So they need to ask that. And also, once they come into the deal, they need to find out also what would be their specific roles as well. Next slide. Also, we have to discuss about what would be their strategy in terms of if ever once we close the deal and everything's been stabilized, when are they going to start the distribution for the investors? This is very important also. Some people, they tended to do it immediately, like in 1 to 2 weeks and 1 to 2 months. the deals that we're having right now, usually do it about after 6 to 9 months. But given the recent events, some of the distribution sometimes much longer than that. So there's a big delay. And also we have to find out also in terms of the frequency of distribution also, will be monthly or quarterly, which are most common than the quarterlies. And also how frequent do they communicate with their limited partners if you want to work with them. Go ahead. And this is also important. How committed are your partners? Are they working full-time or are they working part-time? Ask the partners also, are they doing multiple projects at the same time or just they doing it one at a time? Because if you have a partner who has multiple projects, you just have to have the question about how are they planning to manage those multiple projects without sacrificing the project that you're working with him. Because you have to think about your investors as well, because you don't want your investor to lose money if you got a sponsor has multiple projects. There should be undivided time for all those projects. Go ahead. So now you find, so those are the things that you already established, that you have found a good general partner. Now you must have a very good framework, how to have a very strong partnership. First, you must define your investment criteria. There should be a alignment of interest of what we discussed a while ago. So for example, if you're going to have an investment criteria when you're going to focus on, let's say, class B plus or C plus properties, let's say up to 1980s, and at least 1980s properties, about 100 units, focusing on let's say in Phoenix, then that's the criteria you need to stick on. Then you need to choose the right partner also. And once you have the partnership, once you have the acquisition also, once you have the property, everybody should have a clear roles and responsibility. Who would be involved in investor relationship? Who will be involved in property management? Who will be involved in doing the finances? Who's going to be involved in monitoring all the key performance indicators? Those are very important. Once it is even though, for example, initially your main role was being a capital raiser, you should still be involved in the operation of the property, because this is part of the SEC regulation. Then also you have to, like what we discussed a while ago with the GP split, it has to be clearly defined how much profit are you going to be shared or how much loss will be shared among the partners. And the exit strategy needs to be well defined also. Are you going to hold it for 3 to 5 years? Are you going to refinance it, let's say in a certain period of time? Or are you going to extend it and sell it later on, given a specific market condition? Next. Also, you have to find out also in terms of the financing. Are you planning to focus mainly on, let's say, doing fixed rate or floating rate? Right now, a lot of deals right now are on floating rate. So you have to think about if you're going to continue that strategy or you're going to start looking at fixed rate loans. Are you going to consider using private equities in securing your capital stack? Now, there are some advantages about having private equity. For example, sometimes private equity, it doesn't matter for them. They have to take their interest of the bonus depreciation. That can be given to the limited partners. However, you have to balance also the disadvantage, which is private equity tended to have a higher priority in terms of paying them first before the investor. So something to think about. Also, there should be a solid management plan also, for example, with tenant acquisition, financial reporting, and property maintenance. Next. So given all this information, it is very important. You really have to be very methodical and diligent in finding your ideal general partner. It is a process. It is a dance. It is it's a courting process. You need to know yours so that you need to be very comfortable. Because in the end, you're gonna be in a relationship in a marriage like about 3 to 10 years. So you really have to love your partner in certain ways. So, and also we need to be clear that our main responsibility is for our investor. We need to protect their capital first, no matter what. Also, we need to be transparent to one another. They should not be like limiting any information or knowledge among the partners, and always ask tough questions, which is important because in the end of the day, everybody wants to help each other, everyone wants to succeed financially and make us a difference in the community. That's it. Thank you.
And that's our information. If you want to contact us, please let us know. And also, I would like to announce also, I hope it's okay, that next Monday we're having our meetup. It's in Tempe. So if you want to connect with us, please. And if you have any question. Wow.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
What market or markets do you invest in?
We invested okay. Yeah, we invested in Houston, Dallas, also in Phoenix, and Tucson. Here in Arizona, right now we're investors as limited partners.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you partner with others in raising capital?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Roberta, I have
Yes.
a question. What kind of communication can I expect as an investor in one of your apartment building syndication?
Yeah. So what the expectation is, whenever a investor asks for a question, we need to respond promptly, and we need to give them the answer. Okay. So because we want them to feel certain with their investment and what's the direction of the property. So it's very important to do like call, emails, or texting, whatever is the preference of the investor.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Nicholas has a question. Nicholas, are you able to unmute?
I think he typed the question in.
He did, but I don't see him.
Jason has his hand up, actually.
Go
Can
for
I
it,
ask?
Jason.
Okay, so I'm a brand new investor. I am really more of an entrepreneur. I operate 2 different businesses. I actually have a small team, about 13 people work for me from Philippines. I'm actually going to Philippines for a week this summer to meet with my team because we do an annual retreat in Manila, actually. So I'll be there. I was there 3 years ago before COVID, but I haven't been back for 3 years, but I just want to bring that up. But my question is, for multi-families investment, how much money am I looking at as a LP? How much money does LP usually provide? I mean, need to invest per deal? Is there like a minimum threshold I'm looking at? 50K, 100K, 200K? Like what is the number?
So normally it's 50, but you can invest more. It's depend where if you feel to invest more, but normally it's the minimum is 50.
And what is the return on investment I'm looking at for 50K? Because he mentioned about the quarterly paid out. How much of the 50K investment am I getting back every single quarter, typically?
Yeah, okay, let me answer that. So in the past, it depends on the market, also the market situation. In the past, when we started first in 2019, we were having a good cash and cash. We're talking about like 10 to 12%. Now it's different because of the high interest rate right now. Right now, if you're receiving distribution, we're talking about like what's right now about 5 to 6% cash and cash.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You said your group is expecting a 5 to 6% cash
Yeah,
on
but
cash,
yeah, that's what's going on right about that. But it's getting lower because of the interest rate. It's getting harder right now.
but you have investors that will accept the 5 to 6%.
As long as based on our experience, as long as they're able to educate them about what's the market is going, and they're willing to accept that also. As long as you have to be very transparent with them.
Awesome. Anna has a question.
Yeah, and I just want to 1 second. I just want to add that 5 to 6%. It's still good, better than putting your money in the bank. You're lucky to get 1%, so it's
Mhm.
still good, and it keep continue to grow.
Okay, got it. Anna.
Hi, how are you guys? Just a quick question. Are you in a position and would you be interested in sponsoring deals with less experienced investors?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, it's all about, and this is where you are coming also. So first thing first, you have to identify also about your strength. What are the values you can bring to your potential team? Okay, for example, if you are good in, let's say, doing acquisition, like doing like underwriting, and you found a deal, then you can start looking for potential team members. Okay, like a very strong asset manager, or somebody's good in investor relations. So that's where you can come in also. So it depends on like we discussed a while ago about if whatever complements your talent, that's what you're going to look at also. And they find it very valuable. If you have a good, valuable skills, then definitely everybody will want to partner with you.
Yeah, I think I specifically was asking, I already have a team where we have those tasks divided, but being new operators, we don't have any assets to back us up when we try and get permanent loans with financial institutions. So I think mostly what I'm thinking is we will still need a sponsor to sign off on loans once we find a deal. Is that something you guys do with other operators?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we usually try to, same thing also with us. When we are trying to look for deals, we want to look for general partners who have a higher experience than us also. And also not only for in terms of their skill set, also for their financial liquidity also. That's going to help a lot.
Thank you.
Daryl.
On the return that you had mentioned, 5-6%, is that over what period of time?
I can't remember right now, but I don't know, it's about you average about like 5 to 6%.
Okay, so maybe a 5-year hold, 3-year hold.
Yeah, 3 to 5
yeah.
years hold. Yeah, most of the time, but because we get all different deal so depend on the deal that we're working on. But normally our criteria is 3 to 5 years, and close to the hospital and has to be the income level. It's about 50,000 and up on that 1 mile range.
And
so that's very important.
That's commercial multifamily and not the
yes, commercial.
housing. Okay.
We're talking about at least the last deal that we closed was 80 unit. That was in Dallas. And yeah, it's the 1 mile ratio income it's very high. So we jump into that deal.
So is that because it's low turnover as well for those apartment units?
Yeah, no delinquency. We're still doing the distribution, no capital call. So it's still good.
Okay, so it's not value add, it's like an AB property?
It's a B plus property, and the 1 mile range is about like 57,000, and it's good also because when we acquired that property, it was under rent, and even prior to closing the property, we're already hitting the pro forma. We're very fortunate about getting this deal.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Betty.
Yeah, question on the limited partners. I know you said the buy-in is 50K. Do you guys allow, or have you ever had where you may have had multiple people that wanted to come in as one LLC and bring in the total 50K together? Do you guys offer that as an option for people, or are you just strictly a one and done 50K and you're in as a limited partner?
Actually depend on our partner, because the last one, when we closed the 278 unit, we asked that and they agree as long as it's one LLC. So this depend on the partner that we partner with. Yeah, but sometimes they allow it. Yes.
Any other questions?
Well, I was going to say something to Anna when she asked the question about needing a sponsor or someone to sign on a loan or a KP. Anna, you're a member of the GOB, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
And Daryl said that for those of you that don't know, we have sponsors and KPs and JVs, a part of our network, several of them. So get to know the folks that are in our network, because they could be your next partner.
Alicia, you have a question? Oh, that was answered.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The key principle. Awesome. Awesome. Any other questions?
I have a quick question. Because somebody was asking me this question before. How do you mitigate risk or losses in a syndication deal? How do you kind of walk somebody through all of that?
Usually what we do, you have to do a lot of, has to do a stress test on the deal. For example, we have to stress, especially right now, the interest rate is going up. If you're going to try to underwrite it also, if you can try to maximize the interest rate, let's say what right now is about 6%, 7%, can the deal still works? If it doesn't, then there's something that you need to be very careful also. Also, in terms of trying to mitigate the risk also, is that especially with this situation, you need to have adequate capital reserve in order to cover any unexpected expenses. That's going to help a lot.
Jeffrey.
Hey, Roberto, you mentioned underwriting deals, and I'm just curious to understand, do either you guys or other investors, when looking at a deal, underwrite based on pro forma numbers or actual numbers? And
Usually,
then how much is it? Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and how do you decide which one's most important? How do you balance the two pictures?
Usually, based on my knowledge, okay, you should try to rely to the more expert the expert underwriters in my team, but you should try to look first on on the pro forma. Then also we try to look at the prevailing market, the market also, let's say the market cap rates as well. Depends.
So how we underwrite, Jeffrey, is we underwrite based upon the actual numbers, because that tells the story and it also tells the history of the property. And you want to know what that property is doing right now, because the pro forma numbers are based upon what the seller, and either if he has representation, the brokers believe that the property can perform based upon a set amount of factors. But if their factors don't line up with your business plan, your results will be different. So that's why it's very important that you take the actual numbers, you look at the rent roll and the T12 to make sure you know what income is coming in and what monies are going out. And then you got to look at what condition the property is in and what you plan to do for the property, for the tenants, where are the rents in the market, and how you're going to work those rents to incorporate them in your building to make sure that you can charge more for that. You don't want to tell someone else's story. You want your story that you're going to actually do and protect your investors.
I was going to ask Jeffrey, when he mentioned about the performer, Jeffrey, did you mean the broker's performer?
Yes, that's what I meant. I meant
Okay.
what you see on the, the sales brochure when they give you all the information and you're trying to come to a conclusion based off what they give you.
Okay.
That's why you should sign up for our 3-day summit, and we will teach you. We'll teach you on what to
I
look
probably should. Yeah.
at.
But yeah, I appreciate that answer. It's helpful.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming, Jeffrey.
Yes, thank you, William.
It looks like, so I know that Nicholas, he can't answer verbally, but he said, what percentage of capital should you have for the deal?
Are you talking about leverage?
Well, he said what percentage of capital. So Nicholas, are you referring to the team, the GP team, the investors as a whole, or the leverage through the lenders? Yes, all of the above.
Okay.
GP
I guess
team.
he's typing it in, right?
Yeah, yes, the GP team.
And probably there's something that I'm going to ask the members also. I'm just going to rely on our own experience. For example, there's some deals that we did as a general partner. We as a group, we put in our own money, like about, let's see, one of them is like about 1.2 million in a deal. That's our skin of the game. There's some deals also we put in, I believe one of them is like 800,000. That's I don't know about the experience of the other mastermind members.
Anyone else? Daryl, did you have anything to add?
No, that was excellent. Everything. No, that's good.
Awesome. Anyone else? Okay, so we are at the top of the hour. We thank everyone for coming. Stay on because we're going to network for a good 30 minutes or so after, well, 15 minutes and then after party for 15 minutes. So wanted to quickly show you, in case you weren't already aware of our acquisition summit,
Nice.
3-day acquisition summit, April 3rd, 4th, and 5th. If you didn't know what day of the week that is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I think it's just in about 14 short days. So it's right around the corner. Don't delay. We know that there's some procrastinators out there, but we don't want you to procrastinate because it's going to be jam-packed. You're going to want to prepare for this. So make sure you sign up. We'll drop the information in the chat if you didn't already get it. But if you wanted to know more information about us and our acquisition summit, you can visit www.acquisitionsummit.com. Thank you so much, Betty, for that flyer. It's beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And how much is the cost for that event? Can you repeat that again?
Yes, absolutely. It is $74.97 for the full summit. That includes both the educational piece, but we also have an amount that's included within that amount, which is unlike most summits, most conferences, that $5,000 of that $74.97 goes towards the investment. So all attendees that pay for that full price will be a part of the investment that we have. And so the first day of the summit, we will be underwriting multiple investment active live opportunities. And the second day, we're going to hop in a vehicle, a bus or a van, whichever will hold us all, to tour the properties. And we're going to be, see, touch, and feel, because that's how a lot of people learn. And then day 3, we will be submitting LOIs, offer letters, for the investments that pass our criteria. And so hopefully that covered all of your questions. We do have a second tier, as you all may have heard Daryl announce at the beginning through the video, which is $24.97, and that covers the 3-day summit education portion. Do you have any other questions regarding the summit? We can answer those now if you have them.
Do you have like a lot of guest speakers also in the summit?
We have a few guest speakers, but the purpose of the summit, because our passion is to really help people. So we will have a networking piece. We will have some speakers that are there to help progress your knowledge in the vein of underwriting, partner selection, property manager. We have a property manager that's here that is actually in multiple states. They are amazing to work with. So we're going to have one of their reps come and speak to our team there. But it's jam-packed. We will be submitting offers, active offers for properties, and we want to make sure that we allow time for that, because we know that the students are going to have questions.
Can I say something, Alicia, about that?
Absolutely.
With that question? Sure.
Yes.
We don't plan on having a lot of guest speakers, because guest speakers take up a lot of time.
Right.
Our whole focus is underwriting, touring that property, submitting LOIs. It's going to be too much time for a whole bunch of guest speakers, because we need them to be underwriting that whole day. They're going to be also calling direct